Between the Sprockets is brought to you by Comcopy, the duplication specialists. What are you doing?
I'm looking for the lost mines of King Solomon. They're supposed to be around here somewhere.
I hope you realise we started the show.
Yeah, I know. We're reviewing Michael Crichton's Congo. That's where I got the idea in the first place, silly.
Hi, welcome to Sprockets, the movie review show with a bent edge. I'm Madeleine Swain.
And I'm Robert Ellsworth. And tonight, as well as reviewing the movie, we'll also be giving away nifty t-shirts, tickets, and posters to the movie.
So grab a pen and paper, and we'll be on to that shortly. And also we'll be reviewing Polanski's Death and the Maiden and... Batman!
And we'll also, for those of you who were on Sunset Boulevard a couple of weeks ago, we'll be looking at Hugh Grant's Naughty Bits.
No, we won't, because we're cleaning up our act a bit, but we will have our classic video review segment. So, don't touch that dial.
Hey, what's that?
Amy!
As a young man, I found a book in Soviet Georgia. It contained a detailed drawing of the city of Zinj. The drawing contained a peculiar decoration, an open eye. Later, on safari, I found this. It's the same symbol. Now, look at this. The gorilla drew this. It is the same image. It is the open eye. That gorilla has seen the city of Zinj. And she will take us there.
Well, I didn't have much luck finding King Solomon's mine, but I did find Amy here at Girl Bar in the Girl Room.
Me, Amy, me want to be a TV star.
I thought you were supposed to say, Tickle Amy.
Well, she is, but she's an Australian girl, or what do you expect?
Right. Well, this big-budget adaptation of Michael Crichton's novel is set in the mysterious expanse of unexplored Africa.
Director Frank Marshall gives a razzle-dazzle blend of state-of-the-art technology and special effects and primal adventure, including a talking ape named Amy.
Me want to be on the movie show.
Just like Michael Crichton's other story, Jurassic Park, Congo shows what happens when man interferes with nature. She runs amok. Down!
Charles? Charlie?
What are those holes?
Lava tubes. Molten rock must be flowing through this whole place.
This must lead to the mine. Please, bring a light. Here. Now here. Come on, up here. No.
Well, that's not going anywhere.
Where could they be? What happened to them?
Shit! Let's get out of here while we still can.
Help me! What's that?
Richard! Richard!
Help me! Help me! Richard! Let me go! Let me go!
The story concerns yet another expedition by a greedy American communications company, don't touch that one, please,
whose research team get violently cut off in the middle of a satellite broadcast from the lost city of Zinji in Africa. Now, they've obviously found something, so anxious to find out what it is, ex-CIA gal Karen, played by Laura Linney, manages to persuade primatologist Peter, played by Dylan Walsh, to allow her to join his expedition to take Amy back to the jungle.
Whew, that was sure a mouthful. Anyway, Elliot has equipped Amy with a glove that allows him to transfer sign language into speech, thus allowing her to speak herself.
We've got her sedated. She's gonna be fine.
She's not gonna be fine. Nightmares again. It's happened before. Gorillas in captivity, degenerating mentally, having to be destroyed. When she did these paintings, she got better. Why? Hey. What's this room starting to look like? It's the jungle. She's been painting the jungle.
I don't know, Peter.
She wants to go home.
Oh. Upon their arrival in Africa, everything that can go wrong does go wrong. Kind of like Sandy Dennis and Jack Lemmon in The Out-of-Towners.
But this is no comedy.
Well, at least it's not supposed to be. But I'll tell you, the acting and the special effects are top-notch, including Laura Linney, last seen in Tales of the City, a great favorite of mine.
And apparently there are new plans afoot to make the sequel to that after the last ones fell through, so keep your fingers crossed on that one. Now, Laura Linney can't help but remind you of that other Laura Dern in Jurassic Park. But she's terrific all the same, and Dermot Welch makes you just want to take him home and mother him.
Well, as long as you don't breastfeed him.
Well, there's plenty to go around.
No.
Thank you!
Stop. Anyway, I don't agree with you on the comparison with Laura Linney and Laura Dern. Laura Dern is one of the most grating actresses of our generation, including one of the ugliest. In fact, in Jurassic Park, I thought that the dinosaurs were cuter. But enough about that. Laura Linney in this film is wonderful, and she doesn't play second fiddle to the special effects like in Jurassic Park.
That's good. And Ernie Hudson is suitably charismatic as a safari expedition leader too, in a role that would have been played by somebody like Stuart Granger in Days of Yore. Remember him?
Yeah.
Tim Curry's a bit low-key, though.
Low-key? Huh. I thought he looked like he stepped out of an Ed Wood movie, right down to the bad Hungarian accent, and the only thing missing was a black cape.
Hakama Hamilka, right?
Yes, hi, hello.
You're not looking for Solomon's City again, are you?
What are you talking about?
Mr. Hamilka here was part of a disastrous expedition about, what, 5 years ago?
Please, I would prefer you not
They were
to...
looking for a city called Zinj. Unfortunately, it doesn't exist.
It does exist.
Fine. 3 members of the safari died from exposure. The 4th was shot by we don't know who.
It was an appalling suicide.
We won't put it. And Mr. Hamilka here had to be carried out of the jungle by, as I remember it, me.
I knew he wasn't a Romanian philanthropist.
Oh, he's a Romanian. And he has done a lot of good, but mostly for Mr. Hamilka.
Shut up, you filthy...
Filthy what?
Me, Amy, me want my agent.
Could you shut her up?
No, I think it's kind of cute. Amy!
Bye, Amy.
Me, Amy, please call my solicitor. I think I have whiplash.
I think Amy's accent, she's been spending a lot of time waiting tables in Singapore.
Anyway, the guerrilla effects by Stan Winston are marvellous, absolutely, totally convincing. And the visual effects throughout are excellent, especially the final volcanic eruption and the ensuing earthquake.
I love the way you say that. Anyway, I agree with you on all those points. I thought the set design was brilliant also, but the screenplay by John Patrick Shanley started out pretty bad, although it picked up momentum and had some witty repartee towards the end.
It's also interesting to see how such an old-fashioned adventure flick has this 90s slant to it with a black man in a lead role and not a fallen woman in sight. Ava Gardner would never have been ex-CIA.
No, definitely not. I found the lack of suspense a little disappointing. I think that for some reason Hollywood always takes Michael Crichton's novels and tones down the graphic nature of them, and I don't like that.
I think it might have something to do with the marketing, so they can stuff toy stores throughout the land with very attractive little fluffy gorillas. And talking of marketing, we have 8 Congo goodie packs to give away to the first 8 people who can tell us why they'd like to go to the movies with us. Keep it clean, thank you. So jot down your ideas and send them to us at the following address. Sprockets, NTV, PO Box 2248, Paran 3181.
Yeah, great.
As for my rating, I quite enjoyed the film, and especially Laura Linney, who, as she was as Marianne Singleton, is absolutely fantabulous. I give it a 7.
Well, I only give it a 6. It's a great movie for the kiddies, and I give the special effects a 9. Coming up next, the highest grossing film in Australia opening weekend of all time, Batman Forever.
You're counting on the winged Avenger to deliver you from evil, aren't you, my friend?
Are you gonna kill me?
Maybe, maybe not. You could say we're of 2 minds on the subject. You're a gambling man. I'd say we flip for it. One man is born a hero, his brother a coward, babies starved, politicians grow fat, holy men are martyred, and junkies grow legion. Why? Luck! Blind, stupid, simple, doodah, clueless luck! The random toss. The only true justice. Let's see what justice has in store for you.
It's a brand new day for Gotham City's Dark Knight, and it's also a new crisis for the citizens of Gotham. They have two new evil characters intent on taking over their minds and also destroying Batman.
God, that sounds like a promo if I've ever heard one.
It is. I got it out of the press kit.
Oh, well, what did you think of the film?
I was very unimpressed with Batman. I found it extremely sexist, and I'd rather the commercial at the start.
I love the ad. You know, when Batman wanted to drive through a McDonald's, it's good direction.
Oh, look, forget all of that crap. I'd like to thank the distributors for not sending us out review tickets. They informed the Bent people on the phone that they had the #1 box office film.
Yeah, I know, I have to pay for it, but look, let's forget about that. Why don't we have a look at a clip?
I need a name. Batboy, Nightwing. I don't know, what do you think? What's a good sidekick name?
How about Dick Grayson, college student?
Screw you. I just saved your life. You owe me.
You are totally out of control. You're gonna get yourself killed.
You're looking at your new partner.
No.
Bruce, whenever you go out at night, I'll be watching. And wherever Batman goes, I'm gonna be right beside him. I mean, how are you gonna stop me?
I can stop you.
Al, hang this next to the bat suit, where it belongs.
And you're encouraging him.
Young men with a mind for revenge need little encouragement. They need guidance.
Well, despite the marketing gimmicks, I seriously preferred Casper instead.
And for those of you who might have been in the Congo during the previous Batman media blitz, this film is different in tone from the other two Batman movies and doesn't have Tim Burton as director.
And thank God they recast the leading actor. Michael Keaton looked like a chipmunk, whereas Val Kilmer looks absolutely gorgeous with very sensual lips, as does Drew Barrymore and Nicole Kidman.
And let's not forget Chris O'Donnell as Robin. And I know that bats have nipples and bulges, but, well, anyway, Joel Schumacher directed this film, and he has also directed The Client, Falling Down, The Lost Boys, and Flatliners.
He did. Well, he also oversaw some fantastic scenery and some great gadgets.
Yeah, but you know, I didn't like this as much as the previous two. It is sadly lacking that dark tone, and unfortunately, it is missing, quite obviously, Tim Burton's direction.
Your entrance was good, his was better. The difference? Showmanship. Emergency, Alfred.
Oh, sir. I could be fired for this, sir. Perhaps they'll have me back at Buckingham Palace.
Well, personally, I don't like the film, and I only give it a 4. That's because it's sexist and it's full of old-fashioned stereotypes.
Hot entrance.
Who's given the title
I'm
of
Chase
Doctor,
Meridian.
but most of the
That's
time she's
Dr.
only
Meridian,
interested
the
in getting into bed with Batman.
Well, I don't agree. I think, if anything, those stereotypes work as parodies of stereotypes from previous films. And I think actually Nicole Kidman fares much better in this film than she did in Days of Thunder, which played a 22-year-old brain surgeon.
Yes, but all the women are only there because of sex.
Well, you know, what did you think of the villains? I didn't like the villains. I think the previous films, you know, it's sadly missing the Joker, the Penguin, and Catwoman. There's a good female role for you.
Jim Carrey wasn't bad, though.
Riddler and Two-Face to make a pretty lethal combination.
In this film, and even Tommy Lee Jones was a little bland for me.
Oh, what did you think of the makeup?
Not good.
It was a real disappointment.
Let's start this party with
At all.
Well, coming up next, Robert and Madeleine talk about Death in the Maiden.
Move away from him.
This is unforgivable.
Hold it. Everyone be quiet. Move away from him.
This is unforgivable.
Hold it. It's working. We already have a statement from the good doctor. He tells us that tying a person up and preventing him from speaking for 10 minutes is unforgivable. You know what, doctor? I agree. It is unforgivable. Please, proceed with your statement.
I don't know you. I've never seen you before in my life. I don't know what it is you think I've done. Obviously, she's insane. She's not responsible for what she does, but you're a lawyer. If you don't stop this right now, you're an accomplice. You're going to have to pay the price. Go.
You threatening?
I'm not.
Yes, you were. Let me make this clear. The time for people like you making threats is over. Huh? Out there, maybe you bastards are still running things behind the scenes, but in here, I'm in charge. Understand? Me. Is that clear?
I'm sorry. I didn't mean it as a threat. It's okay. He's not resisting. Hear him out.
Roman Polanski is back and finally has a decent script in Death in the Maiden. In fact, it's based on the hit play by Ariel Dorfman of the same name.
Basically, it's a good, tense, claustrophobic thriller.
Which harks back to the films of his old day before his career took a nosedive.
And talking of nosedive, did you know that Hugh Grant starred in the last Polanski movie?
Ah, that lurid psychosexual story about obsession. Huh, maybe we should have been paying a little more attention to Mr. Grant's proclivities back then.
Yes, poor old Hugh. Anyway, Dorfman has adapted his own extraordinary play, keeping the tension and the claustrophobia, but adding to it by having a storm in the background that cuts out the power lines and the phone lines, thus isolating the three protagonists even more.
Apart from Polanski being back, it's good to see Sigourney Weaver returning on a role, a real meaty role at that, one in which she really gets to
show off her dramatic thingies.
I think a lot of actresses would have killed for that role. Let's have a look.
Why didn't you tell me?
Why didn't you ask? You knew. You're an expert, Gerardo. You've listened to hundreds of hours of testimony. They did it to all of us.
Told me everything else the doctor did. You told me how he used to supervise the torture. You told me how he used to...
I told you nothing.
Nothing?
Actually, very little. Almost nothing.
All these years? All these years because you took it for granted that I knew? How could you assume that?
There's a difference between knowing the facts and hearing the details. If I told you, he'd always be between us. I'd never be alone.
Set in an unidentified Latin American country, the film opens at a secluded beach house where Paulina, Sigourney Weaver, awaits the return of her husband Gerardo.
Now, Gerardo has just been appointed to head a task force which will investigate the crimes of the previous fascist regime. The country may be unspecified, but if you think of Pinochet, you wouldn't be too far out.
A short time later, a car pulls up. The only problem is her husband is not alone.
He's been given a lift home by a man who calls himself Roberto Miranda, a good Samaritan. But when Paulina hears him, she believes that she recognizes the voice of the doctor who raped and tortured her 15 years earlier.
It's intense.
She'll be back.
Well, that's the bad news.
Oh, come on. You love her.
I didn't think I'd feel this shitty. I thought I'd feel more relieved.
Relieved?
Be careful. Let me tell you something. She has not been easy. I mean, she's got a lot of reasons, but she's crazy.
They all have reasons, and they're all crazy. You know what Nietzsche said?
No.
I think it was Nietzsche. Well, I always say it was Nietzsche.
It's probably Freud. I mean, he said everything. If it's quotable, it's probably Freud.
You're very funny when you're grief-stricken.
Well, it's the only way to suffer. So, what did Nietzsche say, whoever else?
Whoever said, we can never entirely possess the female soul.
It's a disturbing premise, carried out with Polanski's usual dexterity. Sigourney Weaver is extremely effective in this role, don't you think?
Yeah, I think she works very hard, and it's not bad, but I think the problem is fundamentally one of miscasting all round.
Oh, I agree. The accents, they all seem like they walked out of a Los Angeles bistro. I had a real hard time believing we were in Latin America.
I think that's largely to do with Dorfman's belief in the inherent universality of his piece, which is certainly true.
Can you loosen them, please?
But even though the characters' emotions and the themes of revenge and betrayal and redemption are quite
There's nothing more I can
universal,
do to save you.
the actual expression of them is peculiarly
You're scared
Latin
your
and
career,
calm.
too, will be destroyed if I get
Benjamin
out
is a
alive.
wonderful actor, but in
Confess
this
we
I
have
think
nothing
he's
to
just a
worry
little
about.
bit too
3,
shifty
stop
right
counting.
away. You never really doubt that Paulina has the right man.
Stuart Wilson's Gerardo is the most impressive of the bunch. He's a British actor with impressive stage credits, but he's only done 6 movies, and it's really hard to believe it from watching his performance here.
I agree, he's very convincing. He even manages to get away with wearing a pair of mules in a movie, which isn't easy. I enjoy the film, and I do recommend it, if only because it's based on thousands of real-life experiences, and therefore it's a story which just cannot be told often enough.
It's definitely true. I give it an 8. Polanski is at top form, but I think he could have opened it up a tad bit, and I really admire the restraint he used in the subject matter here.
I give it an 8 as well. I don't think it's in the same league as Repulsion or Rosemary's Baby or even Chinatown, but it's certainly the best thing that Polanski's done for a while. Coming up next, our camp video review segment.
Hey, I think that was Jessica Lange's first film.
And it was nearly a last. What crap.
Come on, I thought it was kind of funny, actually. I love that scene where Jessica Lange confesses to Jeff Bridges that the movie Deep Throat saved her life.
Oh, come on. That's a very sexist comment. You male chauvinist sexist pig ape, you.
Well, I think it was all meant to be taken tongue-in-cheek. It wasn't meant to be serious, was it?
No, it was facetious, and I'm not going to rehash the plot because it's exactly like the original one. The only difference is Madeleine. Where's Madeleine?
Oh, she's gone. She's gone with Amy. I think they're on a date.
Hey, Madeleine!
I think I'd rather go on a date with King Kong myself. Let's have another look at a clip.
Oh my God. What a meaningful miracle. Do you realize that I owe my life to a movie?
Is that so?
I swear to God, you see, Harry was showing us a film that I refused to watch. And that's why I was up on deck by myself when the yacht exploded. Did you ever meet anyone before whose life was saved by Deep Throat?
Where's Robert gone?
I think he went to make sure Madeleine wasn't joining Amy on a new video review show. God, her success was quick.
Well, anyway, Dino De Laurentiis, not known for his cinematic brilliance, made this $22 million film in 1976, a remake of a 30s classic. However, around half the money spent, well, went on that dreadful-looking Kong. And it was only, the actual shot of Kong was only shown in the final print for one scene.
I know, what you actually do see in the film is special effects whiz Rick Baker running around in a gorilla suit. So you never actually get to see much of the giant-sized mechanical Kong they've built. So let's have a look at a clip of Rick Baker in action.
The scene where Kong tries to bring Jessica Lange to orgasm with his finger is just, it's truly bestial.
I think it's amazing that 40 years after the original, the first film has better special effects.
Well, it's not surprising considering it was made by De Laurentiis.
You got to admit, though, the script is pretty funny. Lorenzo Semple Jr.'s script is chock full of bitchy humour, and like most 70s monster movies, it has like an ecological message which is kind of rammed down your throat.
Which is where we came in.
enough said. All I want to say is if you want to see a mega turkey, you've got to rent out 1986's King Kong Lives, which doesn't have any major stars except for Linda Hamilton, and has the beautiful moving scene of King Kong and Mrs. Kong having sex. And the famous ad line, he's back and he's not happy.
That about wraps it up. Hey, we've got to shoot the closing.
They just signed Amy on for a show on Channel 10. She's got her own video review show. She might need an agent, though.
Too late, buddy. I've already got her paw on the dotted line.
Well, I've got merchandising, so there.
Oh, how fickle she is. Well, anyway, we'll be back next week when we're going to be looking at the new Arthur movie. That's got nothing to do with John Gielgud.
Is Liza Minnelli?
And Limora and Liza Minnelli. No, it's got 3 different people. It's got Richard Gere, Sean Connery, and Julia Ormond. And
Hi,
it's all about
Gerbils.
Lancelot and the Knights at the Round Table. Until then, I'm Madeleine Swain. Good night.
And I'm Robert Ellsworth. Good night.
Has my liver arrived yet?
She's too much.